Here's why DeSantis and Republicans are afraid. Less straight is growing fast. Nearly 30% of Gen Z identify as something other than straight. According to a new report, Stonewall's Rainbow Britain report found that Gen Z is easily the UK's queerest age group. 71% of Gen Z said they identify as straight, compared to 82% of millennials, 87% of Gen X, and 91% of baby boomers. Stonewall CEO Nancy Kelley said, quote, "This groundbreaking new report shows that our lives as LGBTQ plus people are more visible and connected to our friends and family. It is also amazing to see that younger generations are no longer afraid to be themselves and have supportive families and social environments to thrive," end quote. The report also found that Gen Z and millennials are the age groups most likely to be trans and have close connections with trans people. Some 4% of Gen Z and millennials said they identify as trans, while 14% of Gen Z and 11% of millennials have family and friends who are trans. The report notes, encouragingly, that the future is far more familiar and connected with trans people. This obviously bodes well for reducing the appalling stigma and prejudice faced by trans people in the UK. It would be nice, in fact, if anything scared DeSantis and the GOP as much as they scare LGBTQ plus people. But as we've said many times in the show, once again, it is the young people leading the way. This is just another example of that. And I did make me wonder when it came to the baby boomer thing, I just thought of all the losses in the baby boomer community, the gay community during the AIDS, the peak of the AIDS crisis. If maybe those numbers would have been different than they are now, if you think that as things had changed, that maybe more of them would have been out, but that's just something I was wondering.
The GOP knows that when you reduce stigma, you reduce fear.
Yeah.
And they trade almost solely on fear. And I don't know if we can bring that chart back. There was a lot of numbers on a chart we had up when you were delivering the story. If not, go back, rewind about 30 seconds and have a look at it. Because those numbers, that's it. Those numbers are really powerful. You can literally see how acceptance is coming. Not only acceptance of a community, but of people's acceptance of themselves. This when I first read this story today, I was staggered. Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, I hope, like Greg said, I hope that something like this does worry DeSantis, because the UK, we're not too different. I went to a kid's birthday party over the weekend, folks, right? And the kids probably were like in a range between like 10 and 14, all right? Can I tell you how many of them were so comfortable saying, yes, my friend is non-binary, or they, and it was like not even an issue? They're so much more fluid. And the kids after that, which is what, Generation Alpha? Even more so. So DeSantis better watch out at all these people also, because there's a lot of us and we're coming for you.
That's right. Their time is running out.
It is inevitable. Times are changing. And it's so encouraging that these young people are so courageous and that they're really showing up for our community. And so an encouragement to all of them to continue being brave. That's beautiful to watch.
This story is so incredibly important today. It is beyond important in LGBT. First, I highly suggest that Ron DeSantis, Lindsey Graham's, etc., know that this is out there, and this is what they fear, because they know that the times are changing, and they are trying to find ways to hold it back, to stall it off as long as possible, create culture war. They ultimately, of what this study suggests, is they will fail. Just flatly, they will fail. Not tomorrow, maybe not November 8th, although we will watch closely, but they will ultimately fail, because what is happening is a broad segment of population of young people are saying, you cannot hold me down anymore. And this always existed, and baby boomers wouldn't admit it at all. And Gen X was in a situation where more people did, and millennials where more people did. Gen Zers are showing you can't hold us back. To the trans community, you should read this study closely, because when you finish reading the study and its conclusions, you will take heart of what your life is going to grow into. Acceptance is coming, which is what this story is going to say. Creating culture wars are going to fail. That's what this story is going to say. We just have to fight through it and do the best we can till we get there. But there's this old 16th century adage about the little Dutch boy. It was the joke about the finger in the dike. The word dike comes from it. The little Dutch boy could not keep his finger in the dike and keep the water at bay. Eventually it collapses. That's exactly what we're watching here, and this study proves it.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.